Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this Brave Thinking Masters class. This is the class for January of 2025, starting out a new year. This is the year to thrive, and I want to help you do that. People wonder, can I really make a difference in my life by just watching one single masterclass? Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, it can, but it won't happen if you watch the class and do nothing. We really need to be a participant in building our dream life. And so that involves taking action. So I'm here to help you to formulate the steps to take so that you can get the results that you want. Wonderful. My name is Dawn Huffey. I'm the owner of Liberty Belle Coaching, and my life coaching certifications came through the Brave Thinking Institute. And so that's why I call this the Brave Thinking Masterclass, because when I took my training back in 2021, we were taught that in order to be a brave thinker, we need to change the way that we think and we need to act boldly. So we think bravely and act boldly. And I want that for you too, because that's what gets results. So I'm glad you're joining me here today. That's a first step. And it's my intention that you leave here today knowing 3 tools that will help you achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you ever imagined. Now, we call these brave thinking tools, and we have many more tools, but today I'm sharing 3 of the main tools that gets you going. I want you also to have greater clarity on what your dreams are and to feel more confident in the power that lives right within you. We have so much power that we haven't tapped into yet. And so I'm going to help you do all of that. Now, in order to take the next step into this masterclass, I am going to share a story with you. And I am also going to share my screen because I have a PowerPoint that goes along with this masterclass. Okay, let's see here. Let's take the steps here to get this up for you. There it is. The power of vision. 3 keys to mastering your results. There is so much power in visioning out your dream life. And so I do that for people. I help them vision out. So let's get going with our story. And my computer is taking its time here. I'll just be patient. Just tap into a little patience. Okay, great. All right, the story is about a mouse. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden they came around the corner and saw a cat. The cat was about to attack, and the mother mouse said in a very loud voice, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and the cat ran away. The mother mouse turned to her babies and said, "That is the power of learning more than one language." Why this story matters to you is because today I'm going to be teaching you another language. It's the language of success. We want success when we go visioning our dreams. And if you don't have the framework, more than likely you're going to fail. So I'm going to give you that framework. There is a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates the results that you want. And once you consciously understand what that language is, excuse me, then you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. That is what the Dream Builder program is all about. Learning a new language of success for your life. So I'm introducing you to the main program that I take my clients through, which is the Dream Builder program. Now I have 4 other programs that I also take clients through, but the Dream Builder program gives you the basic building blocks of how to get to your dream life. Do you have a goal or a dream that you would like to achieve, or some area of your life that you would like to improve? Most of us do. And so this proves a point that we really just keep growing, we keep expanding, because we just want to tap into the capability that we can grow. It's all within us, okay? If we're still breathing, we are not done expanding and growing into a better version of ourselves. Okay, again, my intentions are to give you those 3 tools that I talked about to gain greater clarity on your goals and to feel even more confident in your ability. If you're not believing in yourself, then I ask people to believe in my belief in you until you can garner that confidence. Now, I want to say that as we go along in the Dream Builder program, I also help clients with another modality that I learned in 2022. It's called the Compassion Key Technique. This technique is so amazing. It helps to clear out the woundings that we've had in our past that cause us to trip up. And I'm going to go into that in more detail in a little bit. All right, so we are capable of far more than we know. We just don't recognize it yet. I'm going to help you get into more awareness of all that. Often our goals and dreams are born out of the challenges we face. As we live on earth, we are going to have challenges. They come up. It's just the way it goes. And we just want to learn a way of living life resiliently. We don't want to live it out of all of this reactionary stuff. We want to really be more deliberate and say to ourselves, oh, how can I fix this? Or who can help me with this problem? I have a challenge. This is a challenge. I used to go into, oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I would go into victim mode. It was so horrible, and I'd be stuck there. Sometimes for years. I had a really bad problem with victimhood, but I have overcome that because now I'm a brave thinker, and you can become one too. All right. Moving forward, there are 2 signals for growth, and we want to become aware of them. We've often felt these signals, but instead of recognizing them as a message for us to grow, we get into discouragement over them. So the first message is our longing. We long for something more. Maybe it's a deeper relationship with our spouse, or maybe we want a bigger, more spacious, different house. It doesn't matter what the longing is, but we want to recognize I long for that, and I really want that in my life. Sometimes we see the longing and we think, I can't ever get that. We shut ourselves down. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to look at our longings and figure out how to get there. And that's my job as a dream builder coach. I help you get there. The other signal for growth is our discontent. Think about your life and really examine, where do I feel discontent? Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep getting something in my throat. Oftentimes, when discontent comes up, we shove it off to the side and we refuse to look at it. Basically, it does help us live our life and move forward so we don't feel the discontent constantly. But as a brave thinker, we don't shove it off to the side. We look at it and we figure out how to dissolve it. And we do that by manifesting what we long for. I hope that makes sense. So when we have problems come along, the pain of a problem can just put into us a burning desire for something new and for creating new results. If you want new results, we need to do something different. You cannot expect new results by doing the same thing you're doing now. It just doesn't work that way. Now, you can be pushed by pain. Okay, a problem comes up and there's a lot of pain, or a situation comes up and you experience pain. So that can cause you to do something different. Now, there's a second way that you can change your life, and that's by being pulled by a vision. And this is what I do. I help you create a vision, and then we step towards that vision with your action steps. So these are two energies. You can do it because of the pain that you can't, tolerate the situation as it is. And so then you do something different finally, or you're pulled by a vision. In the end, they both work. But I will tell you, creating a vision is much easier. Yes, it is. Of course, I've done it both ways, and I'm sure you have too. I wanted to share a time in my life where pain pushed me to make a change. As some of you might know, in the fall of 2020, I was so frustrated. Actually, I was really mad because of all the restrictions and requirements at my job in the private school where I work. Of course, we all remember the big fiasco that happened in 2020. And I just was not willing to compromise my morals and my beliefs for what other people wanted me to do. I refused to comply. I knew if I did comply that I would be so unhappy with myself, because going against my values never works out for me. And it doesn't work out for you either. On the final day of in-service, when the new restrictions were delivered, I made a decision. I decided that my job was coming to an end on that day. I didn't give a notice. I quit on that day. I actually finished out the day, helped my boss get ready for the next day, which was the first day of school. But I knew the next day I'd have to comply with everything that they stated out in their big mandatory rules. And I wasn't going to do it. That decision was not convenient. It was scary. It was uncomfortable, but the alternative felt worse to me. Now, I do want to share that this job was very, what do I want to say? It had good and a bad in it. I was very good at my position. I had this parenting skills to transfer them into taking care of 4-year-olds and guiding them and teaching them. So I was just very, very good at my job. At the same time, I had a boss and a principal who were very undermining and really downright mean at times. So there was a lot of pain there, and I just wasn't making the change that I needed to make. And guess what? The pain just escalating until I finally said, I'm done. I'm out of this job. Now, within a month of leaving that job, I discovered a life coach named Mary Morrissey, and she is the creator of the Brave Thinking Institute. It was just miraculous. Basically, an email came into my inbox. I don't think I've ever had an email from her before. If I did, I never opened it, but that day I opened it and she was promoting an 8-week program. And I thought, you know what? I really need some changes going on in my life. And so I bought that 8-week program. And then they offered another year-long program because I knew I had some really bad thinking going on in my mind that I couldn't surmount. And so I enrolled in that year-long program to get constant support, because Mary coached us every week, and we had another coach that answered our questions once a week. I had a morning mentor video that was a few minutes long every weekday that I watched. And then Mary offered a life coaching program. And for several years, I wanted to be a life coach. And so I jumped in and took that training. So here I am. Now, what's your next big dream? Imagine how you will feel when your dream becomes a reality. In the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them to your life. You can learn about them, but if you don't apply them, nothing will change. Remember, you need to take action. So today we're going to talk about 3 principles. So I'll talk about 3 of the 10 principles. Of course, in the Dream Builder program, we'll go into much more detail about the principles. And I'm also going to give you 3 of the Dream Builder tools. Okay, are you ready? Here's my promise to you. I will give you everything I can in the time that we have together today. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. You will make a choice to work with me. At the end of this presentation, I have a special gift that I'm going to give you, and I think you'll love it. We are constantly creating results in our life. We create them in 2 different ways. The first way is by default. What does that really mean? Well, it means that we basically choose the same thoughts today as we were thinking yesterday. We're choosing what we've already chosen. We live our life out of our patterns that were set up long, long ago. We choose the same beliefs. We don't challenge our beliefs. We don't pick different beliefs that will serve us better. And we ignore the signals that cause us to grow. Instead of looking at our longing and discontent, we set it off to the side and say, that's too painful or that's too uncomfortable to look at. And I'm not looking at it. We just kind of shove it off to the side and keep living our life the same way we lived it yesterday, the day before, the year before, the decade before for some of us. Yes. Okay. Now, there's another way to create results in your life or to create your experiences, we could say, and that is by design. And that's what we do in the Dream Builder program. We design the life that we would absolutely love. And of course, there are certain steps in doing that, and I'm going to give you some of those steps today. Now, let's learn to expand your awareness for success in the areas of life that matter to you. There are 4 major domains of life in which we experience our results. And the first is in our health and well-being. If we don't feel good, we don't even step out and do anything about our circumstances and our situations and our conditions because we don't have the energy to do it. We don't feel well enough to barely get through the day. So we want to get this area in a better state. The next area is love and relationships. We have so many different relationships, mother-daughter, spousal relationships, friends, so many different relationships. And then we have our vocation or how we express ourselves in the world. For me, that's being a coach. And time and money freedom. Yes. So the 4 domains. Everybody has results in each of these areas right now. You may be satisfied with them and you may not be. Let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates your results, or what I call the results formula. The formula looks like this. We first have thoughts in our mind. We think thoughts all day long. We can't stop thinking thoughts. Just attempt that. Just tell yourself, okay, today I'm not going to think any thoughts. Well, I'm here to say it's not going to work out because we think thoughts all day long. All right, so when we think a thought, it causes us to have a feeling. Those feelings propel us to take an action. And once we take an action, we're in a different spot and we have a result or we have an experience. It might be an experience we really like, and it might be an experience we think, okay, this didn't work out so good for me. Imagine the thought, oh my gosh, I lost my wallet. You go to your purse and it's not there. What are you feeling after you have that thought? Panic, worry, fear. And that will propel you to take actions. You're probably frantically looking around everywhere for where your wallet might be. And your experience might be that you just are exhausted, exasperated. Yes. Now, let's think a different thought. Think this thought. Oh, that's right. I left my wallet in my coat pocket. How are you feeling now? You're probably feeling relieved, thankful, grateful. And what are your actions? Maybe you'll say a prayer. Thank you, God, for reminding me that I left it in my coat pocket. And what are your results? You have a happy, peaceful day. Yes, yes, you do. Excuse me. Okay. Now, there is another level in this results formula that I became aware of when I trained for the compassion key. And that level is behind our thoughts. It is the patterns and the paradigms that are running on automatic. And where do these patterns come from? They come from our wounds. So let's think of an example that maybe someone would have had a trauma of as a child. Okay, so as a little girl, maybe you were abused by an uncle. Okay, there's so much sexual abuse out there. So it's quite a common trauma. Now, you're probably so confused and you don't even know how to put words to this. You don't tell anybody. You don't even, maybe you're threatened and you are scared to tell anybody. So this horrible wounding starts to set up a pattern. And within this pattern, you have all of these beliefs that gets cemented inside of you. I can't trust men. I'm scared of men. I don't know how to even think about this because I'm so confused. So all of these beliefs and thoughts start creating a pattern of I don't trust men. So what we do is we attract men in our adult life that we can't trust because this is how it works. Our thoughts, even though we're not aware of where they're coming from, or even if they're underneath our awareness, those beliefs are still running on automatic and they're vibrating out and they're attracting a like experience. So you're going to attract men you don't trust and you're going to have more trauma. The key to fixing all of this is the compassion key, because we'll go right to that wounding. If it was when you were 4 years old, we'll help that little 4-year-old to heal that wound. And then with the Dream Builder program and the tools, then we'll create new, more empowering beliefs and affirmations. And so it's a multi-pronged approach to help you get out of these hurtful, painful patterns. All right, so I hope you really like the explanation. I attracted one man after the other because I lived out this whole scenario I just told you about. I married 2 men that were horribly bad for me. men that were mean, men that were abusive, men I didn't trust. Yes. And so now I'm in a space where I've done so much healing and I do want to be married again. And this time it will be with a man that I can trust, a man that puts me above his selfishness and his narcissism. Yes. Yes, it will be so much different because I'm different. I've healed those wounds and you can do it too. Our thoughts are in charge of our results and our results never lie. So if you're having results that you don't like, then we're going to flip this around. We're not going to be blaming others that, oh, they did this to me and I did this for years. I blamed everybody else outside of me for what I was experiencing. But until I looked at what I was thinking and all of those beliefs buried deep inside of me, I couldn't change what was going on. I very rarely have anybody in my life who treats me badly now. And I used to have one person after the next treat me badly. So things have so shifted around for me. So this is the possibility there for you as well. Our results never lie. So when things do show up and I think, what, why did that person say that mean thing to me? I turn around and look and say, okay, what is going on within me that attracted that? It's a whole new way of living. It's a whole new way of approaching your issues that come up in your life. And the good news is that this actually changes things. That other way of living and blaming and, being mad at everybody else, it doesn't work because you keep living out the pattern. So if you're going to create new results, you need new tools, you need new ideas. And so this is Brave Thinking tool number 1, to notice what you're noticing. So let's just do a short exercise. I just want you to notice your feet on the floor right now. And next, just notice your calves, notice your knees, notice your thighs, notice your abdomen, notice your chest and your breath, and your neck. And now notice what's going on up here in your head and in your mind. This is where I really want you to pay attention, to notice what you're thinking. This is what we want to really focus on. This is Brave Thinking tool number 1 for a reason, because it is so important to notice what you're thinking, because we want to figure out this results formula. We want to interrupt the negative, mean thoughts that we have about others or ourselves and switch it all around. So this is Brave Thinking tool number 1. Notice what you're noticing. You may think, oh, Dawn, that's just such a weird tool. But I promise you, if you start paying attention and notice what you're thinking and switch around the words that you're saying in your mind, your life is going to change. We're going to use this noticing tool in the next section of this masterclass. So you'll need something to write on and write with. Then maybe you already have that here if you're a note taker like I am. We're going to notice your current results. You might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know there's something more out there for you. Or maybe you have lots of dreams and you don't know whether to choose one or create them all at once. Every one of us has a dream inside of us somewhere. I want to share some quotes with you. Oh, wait, maybe I don't want to do that yet. No, not yet. Okay. So we're going to first start with our health and well-being. So you might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. We don't want that because that really limits our life and our opportunities. Maybe you have relatively good health. You don't really have a lot of symptoms, but you kind of notice that your vibrancy and your aliveness is not there like it used to be. And you want to correct that. You want to improve that. Okay, so here we go with this life assessment. I'm going to time this so we keep on track so this doesn't get too lengthy. So I'm inviting you to write down one or two things that you're noticing about your health and well-being. And so we'll give you 1 minute. So ready, go ahead and write. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Next, I'm going to ask you to give yourself a rating of where you feel you are at in your health and well-being. One means that your health is really suffering. You are really debilitated in so many ways. And if you give yourself a 5, you're just feeling so fabulous. You're thriving. You can basically do and be what you want and who you want. Okay, so just write down a number. Okay, great. Next, we're going to look at the relationship area, the love and relationship area. You might be a person who longs to have a beautiful, deep, fun, passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. Or maybe you'd love to deepen, expand, and just have more fun with the relationship that you're already in. All right. So let's take 1 minute and write down one or two things that you're noticing. And how about you choose one relationship? Maybe it's a relationship with your mother, or maybe it's with a child, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a sibling. Choose the relationship that just comes up in your mind. Just go with your intuition here and write down one or two things that you're noticing about that. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Next, give yourself a rating about this relationship. 1 means that there's a lot of distress going on, and 5 means it's just running so beautifully and connected. Okay, great. Next, we're going to go on to vocation, or how you express yourself in the world. You might be a person who feels stuck in a job you don't like, or maybe you like your work, but you work too many hours and you want more freedom. So again, writing down one or two things you're noticing in this area. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. And you can give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 of where you feel you're at. All right, we'll move on to the last area, which is time and money freedom. When we have money, we have freedom. We don't want to worship money, but we definitely need money to make a difference for ourselves and for others. All right, you might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time, and you'd love to feel more in harmony. Love that feeling, harmony. So take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. And lastly, give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 of where you think you're at. I want to congratulate you for doing this exercise. Remember, we are dream builders. We can't just watch this master class. We can't just live our life and just be a passive observer. No, we're a builder. We're an action taker. And by taking the action of participating in that life assessment, you're doing something different. Remember, if you want different results, you must do something different. So congratulations. It takes courage to look at these things that we'd rather not look at our discomfort. But if we don't look at it and bring it out in front of us, it'll just stay off to the side and keep running on automatic. Okay, so good job. Did all of these areas. Thank you. This brings us to the first key or the first principle of dream building, which is designing your dream. Remember earlier, I said there were 2 ways to create your life, out of design or out of default. So, of course, principle number 1 is how to design your dream. This is where we're going to get into some quotes. And the Dalai Lama said, in order to carry a positive action, we develop here a positive vision. In the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. This is how important and imperative it is that we have a vision. Otherwise, we just perish. We shrivel up. We don't have any vibrancy. We don't have that aliveness that we can have. Stepping out into new territory makes life more interesting. The next quote is by Earl Nightingale. People with goals succeed because they know where they are going. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream by C.S. Lewis. we don't keep growing, we get stagnant and actually kind of boring. I don't want to be boring. I love getting this thrilling feeling about doing something new. I'm just now in the last month doing a lot of pinning on Pinterest, and it is really just filling me up with so many different good things. Like my creativity is just expanding, and it's so much fun to see all these pretty images that I'm putting on there. So, oh, I'd love to have you follow me on Pinterest. My account is Liberty Belle Coaching. My account is just so pretty. So I hope you like it. And actually, we have two more. Every great dream begins with a dreamer by Harriet Tubman. And lastly, Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Now, we really must believe in our dream. We're going to vision out part of our dream today. And the importance of this quote is that we must believe in the dream. We don't want to write it out and then think, oh, that's never going to happen. Remember how important our thoughts are? When those thoughts come up, we want to say, wait a second, I just noticed that negative thought that is not going to help me get to my dream life. And so you switch it around. You say, yes, I do believe in my dream. I do believe that it can happen. And I'm going to work to make it happen. So we've got to believe and catch those nasty, mean thoughts that trip us up and cause us to fail. Clarity is power. So we are going to get real clear on what it is that you would love for your life. And we do this in a way of asking questions. We can ask poor quality questions or we can ask high quality questions. And I'm going to give you examples of both. So the quality of our life is determined by the questions that we ask. This is Brave Thinking tool number 2. Again, it seems like a very simple tool, but we are going to ask ourselves, what would I love? And then we're going to just listen for the answer. What would you love for your life? What would you love in each of the realms of your life? In your health, in your relationships, in your time and money freedom, and in your vocation? Yes. All right. So for today, I'm going to ask you to choose one area of your life that you will want to improve the most. And this is what we're going to work with today. Oh, before we go into this next exercise, I want to talk about the different types of questions. So, disempowering questions are sounding like this. Why isn't my dream coming? I don't know why it isn't coming. So why causes us to go into victimhood? You can hear that in my voice. I don't know why it's not working. Dawn said, if I do this, and it's just not working right now. Is that very empowering? No, it's very weak and it's very disempowering. Now, another way to ask a question is to begin your word with when. When is my dream going to come? When is my husband going to show up? Okay, this is whining. So we have whining and complaining. This is the language of the devil. We don't want to go into the language of the devil. We want to speak empowering, loving questions. And so that's the power of asking good questions. Yes. So brave thinking tool number 2, what would I love? All right. So now we are going to go into this realm of the time machine. All right. So asking yourself, imagine what it would be like to live the life that you absolutely love. And you're doing that, and it's 3 years from now. Everything you wanted completely worked out. Okay, so we're going to focus on this question. I do want to mention a couple other questions that people get tripped up on that are disempowering, and they might start floating up into your mind right now when you are doing this exercise. Some of us have been so used to saying, well, I wonder what my sister thinks I should do. I wonder what my mom thinks I should do. This is that people pleasing pattern. A lot of us have gotten into this pattern. We don't even ask ourselves what we want. We are so busy doing what everyone else wants us to do. This is not going to get us to the life that we absolutely love. It's not. So be very cautionary about that. And another question is, we look at our circumstances and we think, well, I don't think I can do that because my circumstances say, no, I can't. We want to bust out of that limitation. We want to dream beyond what our current circumstance tells us, because thinking differently will give us different results. We don't want to live the same life. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here learning about this. You didn't have some inkling that you wanted something more for your life. Okay, so in this next exercise, we're going to vision out your dream life in that one area that you chose, the area that you want to improve the most. And so we're going to start our vision with this phrase. I am so happy and grateful now that, so please go ahead and write this out. Ready? Go ahead. All right. Excellent. Now, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out nice and slow through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. Again, take another breath in through your nose. Breathe it out through your mouth nice and slow. This slows down our thinking and it gets us into the creative side of our brain, because that's where we want to be. Imagine that it is 3 years from now. It is 2028 and all challenges are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you could not fail, what experiences are you having? Who are you with? See that life. How does it feel? Now, open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life you are imagining. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. So very good that you did that. Now we're going to end this mini vision with this statement. This or something even better still. So go ahead and write that at the end of this little mini vision. I want to explain why we add this. We are creating this mini vision today. Now, maybe a week from now or a month from now, you are in a different spot and you see something over there and you think, you know what? I like that even better than what I wrote last week in my mini vision. So we want to stay open to something even better still. This little mini vision that we did is a changeable document. It's not written in stone. No, it's something that we can go back to and change, add to it. So we want to stay open. Maybe God has something even better still that we don't see right now. And we want to stay open to all the options and opportunities that are out there for us. Yes, we do. All right. Excellent. Thank you for doing that. We are on our way. This is the beginning of designing a life that you would love. I know that you might not know how this dream is going to happen, and that's okay for now. Great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know the how at the beginning of this process. So we'll check this one off and go on to key number 2 or principle number 2, and that is deciding for your dream. I'm going to share a quote with you from an amazing author and coach, Bob Proctor. And Bob said this: there is a simple mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this mental activity, and it is called decision. We must decide for our dream. We must decide to take an action step. If you don't, you will be in the same place that you are right now. So we're going to decide for new results because taking an action step really brings us into a new spot. And then we see things differently. We're not in the same spot because we took an action step. We're in a different spot. And that opens up our awareness to different possibilities. It's so much fun once you get going on this. I have a story for you to help you understand how the Dream Builder program worked in Judy's life. So here we go. Judy did not have much education. She worked in a fast food restaurant during the day and did alterations as a seamstress at night. She lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with her 2 children. Her dream was to have a home for her family. Judy came across the Dream Builder program that I am talking about today. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, that she needed support. So she took a huge leap and made a decision for her dream, and she enrolled in the Dream Builder program. This was a tough thing to do, but she got up her courage and made a decision. She wanted to change her life, so she decided, look, I'm doing this new thing. She told her coach that her dream was to own her own home, but that she only had $500 a month for rent. She believed, her belief was, there's no way I can even rent a house, let alone buy a house for $500 a month. Her coach heard that and pivoted over here and asked Judy to describe the house that she dreamed of. But Judy had great difficulty doing that. Why would she? Because a lot of us have forgotten how to dream. It was a struggle, but as the coach encouraged her to describe it, get really detailed about it, eventually Judy came up with a description of her dream house. Now, whenever Judy brought up, I can't do it, that belief kept driving her words to say, I can't ever get a house. Judy's coach knew how dreams can come true. So she would turn Judy's attention to another point. And this is what the coach said to Judy. Judy, now that you have a mental picture of the house, go out and look for it. Take the next action step. The first step was to describe it. Next, go out and look for it. Well, Judy thought that was crazy because she's still running on the belief, I can't get a house for my money that I have right now. She's looking at her present circumstances and she can't vision it outside of it. But that's why the coach is so important. We don't look at things from your contracted view. We look at it from possibility. So after 2 weeks, Judy got out there and she was looking for that house and she found it. She called her coach and she said, I found my dream house. How thrilling to find your dream house. And here's Judy's next words, but it's $900 a month and I can't afford it. Okay. So if Judy had been on her own, that would more than likely have been the end of it all. Judy would have probably given up and said, see, I knew I couldn't do it. But Judy's coach knew the language. Remember, we have the language of success in the Dream Builder program. We know the mindset. We know the questions to ask. We know the beliefs to believe in. So this is what coach said to Judy. Judy, if you didn't know it was impossible and you really thought there was a chance that you could have that house, what would you do? Okay, so Judy, this question just kind of befuddled her. But after about a week, she really got to work on this question. What could I do? And an answer came to her. So this is what she had a recognition of what she could do. She would write a letter to the owner and explain her situation. In her letter, Judy described 40 things that she would personally do to improve the house if the owner would provide the materials. Yeah, Judy could rent for $500 a month. So, huge action step. Putting herself out there, but it's the idea she got and she followed through on the idea. She took that action step. 3 weeks later, 3 weeks she waited and she got a call from the homeowner and he said to Judy, I don't know why I'm doing this, but something in your letter just won't leave me alone. I want to stop here because this is really crucial for us to understand. This homeowner had several offers of $900 a month for the rent, but he didn't take them. Why didn't he take them? He got drawn into Judy's vision. Remember, he said something about your letter kept nagging at me. And so he actually started to participate in Judy's dream. So this is what he said. You sign a contract outlining what you will do every quarter, and I'll let you live in the house for 1 year for $500 a month. Judy manifested this house by opening up to possibilities because of the action steps that she started taking. It's so beautiful. So 30 days later, Judy and her family were in that house. And actually, the story does not end there. Over the course of the year, Judy did everything she promised the owner she would do. And within 3 years, Judy owned that house. Her dream had come true, and she learned a new way of thinking thanks to her coach. That new way of brave thinking also got her a new career. She was thinking bravely and acting boldly, are two core things that we focus on in dream building. So, this way of brave thinking got Judy a new career. She started her own home-based business, and she got to spend more time with her children while her income soared. Her life had a whole new meaning. So now it's your turn. It starts with making a decision. It starts by saying to yourself, today is the day I'm going after this dream. I'm doing this thing. Okay, what a grand story. The next screen, I'm going to invite you to read. So go ahead. Oh, first of all, just a reiteration. We're going to decide for new results. Okay, here we go. Go ahead and read this screen. I love this screen because I can read it just like it's typed normally, which always fascinates me. Now, I want to relate this to your dream. So first, let's talk about this screen. We know the beginning letter and we know the last letter. And the majority of people can figure out the word. And it doesn't matter that the middle is all mixed up, that it's all discombobulated. We can still read the word. Now, I'm relating this to our dream. We know the beginning of our dream, which is right where we are right now. We know the ending of our dream because we just visioned up that mini vision. In the middle, it's unknown, it's mixed up, it may seem discombobulated. It doesn't matter. We're going to get to the dream life anyway. So, what a great exercise to explain that it works. It works if you work the system. So we have where you are now, and we have what you would love, which is our mini vision, and in the middle we have the how. Some people are going to get, oh, I don't know how that's going to happen. I just don't know how this is all going to work out. Remember, dream builders suspend all the how questions. We're going to focus on what questions. What would I love? What step would get me to a different spot? Who could I contact? Who knows about this that has had success that would help me out with this? We're going to put a strike through the how. The hows will reveal themselves as we go along. It's so much fun. So just put that off to the side. This brings us to key number 3, or principle number 3, which is befriending your fear. We all know when we do something new, when we step into new territory, fear comes up. It's just the way we operate as human beings. But what I mean by befriending our fear is to do the thing you really want to do, even though fear rises up. Don't look at it as, oh, I have so much fear about taking that step. I don't think I'm supposed to. No, shift that thinking around to, oh, remember Donna said when the fear comes up, it's new territory, but take the step anyway. Befriend your fear, recognize the fear, and kind of talk to the fear. And I'll expand on that more in just a little bit. So as we take action steps, our patterns that have been running on automatic are going to start talking to us. We're going to hear nasty, nasty thoughts, nasty phrases, and we want to recognize them because we're going to notice what we're noticing in our thinking, and we want to really write them down. And when we come around to the time in the coaching where we have the compassion key that I intertwine in between the dream building, we can tackle those old wounds that are driving these self-defeating thoughts. So here are some of the thoughts you might hear. Yeah, right, that isn't going to happen. Who are you to think that thought and to have that dream? Where are you going to find the time and where are you going to get the money? So again, these nasty voices are coming from our paradigms. And our paradigms are a collection of our patterns, and in this case, negative patterns and negative beliefs. Now, we do have positive patterns. We have patterns of generosity. My daughter-in-law has this value of generosity. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. And so we do have very good patterns, but we also have detrimental patterns. And this is where we really need the help and the healing. I want to talk about several patterns that I hear when I work with people. I hear them over and over again, and it causes people to stall out and not move forward. The first one is they hear this thought and they tell it to me. Well, Dawn, now it's just not a good time. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till after my daughter gets married. I'm going to wait till summer. It's a pattern of delay. They're consistently and constantly delaying. Do they ever change their lives? No, because when summer comes, then it's like, oh, well, let's wait till the kids get in school. They always have another reason to delay because they're so caught up in the pattern of delay. And I will tell you, these patterns are so powerful. They overrule our good intentions and they win out 99.9% of the time. And that's why it's so imperative to dissolve these negative patterns. And that's why the compassion key is so crucial in the way that I coach. It's so beneficial. Okay, what's another pattern I see over and over again? Another negative pattern is the pattern of shame. We shame ourselves. You don't have the money for that. That's so irresponsible. So that last part, that's so irresponsible. We're being mean and nasty to ourselves. We're shaming ourselves, saying, shame on you for even having that thought because it's so irresponsible. Do you hear that shame in there? Shame is the lowest vibrating feeling that we can have. We don't want any of that operating within us at all. And mostly the shame is unconscious. It's vibrating from a wound way, way back. Someone wounded us. Someone shamed us. We felt ashamed and we internalized it and we have shame running on automatic. We must get to that and release that wound so it doesn't run. And then you won't go into these automatic thoughts of shame on you for thinking that. What about so-and-so over there? That people pleasing pattern will come up along with it. Well, their life is worse than mine. And, they probably need this more than I do. And, oh, there's comparing. And, oh, my goodness, we get into all of these detrimental patterns. Okay. So, wow, I went into a few more patterns that I usually don't. But a lot of these detrimental patterns are interlinked. And they are at the source of our wounds. All right, the last paradigm that I want to talk about is the I'm not good enough. I see this over and over again. People say to me, well, I just don't think I can do that. I don't think I can, have that. And these thoughts are running from this belief that they're not good enough. Somewhere along the way, someone said something or did something that made you feel that you're not good enough. Everybody else is better than you, and you can't achieve what you want to do. You can't have what you want to have. It's the I'm not good enough pattern. These common negative paradigms keep you stuck. I don't want you stuck. I don't think you want yourself stuck. So that's where the compassion key is so important in your healing journey and in your journey to get you to that life that you love. Paradigms will pull you back over and over again, and you may fall into discouragement and downtroddenness and depression. I don't want you there, and I don't think you want to go there. Now, there's a part of you who gets really fired up about, yes, I'm going for my dream. I'm doing it. And then there's a part of you that says, uh-oh, what if I fail? How many of us have had failures? We all have. I've had failures. I've had 2 divorces. Those are failures. I don't like that I've had them, but they're there. They're in my history, and your failures are there too. But when we were babies, let's just use this example. We were crawling around, and all the other big people in the room were walking, and we wanted to walk like they were walking too. And we probably fell down over and over again, but we kept getting up. We learned to walk by falling down. Now, the thing about this I want to explain, and I see this, I experienced it. As we get to adulthood, a lot of people say, you know what, I'm all grown up now. I shouldn't be making any more mistakes. If you hear the word should, you really want to pay attention, because it's like a red flag of a pattern running, okay? When we venture out into new territory, new tasks, we go out and we experience new options, we are going to make mistakes. It's new. We've never done it before. I see adults with this belief like, okay, I'm all grown up now. I shouldn't have any more mistakes. This is such a lie. We are going to make mistakes, but we want to be gentle with ourselves and just say, you know what? I really like this dream that I visioned up over here. This isn't really working out for me. Reframe it. Just say, I'm going to shift over and create a new vision. Yes, it was a mistake and it didn't work out. That's okay. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. None of us are going to get this perfect. We just aren't going to. So all of these people failed over and over again. And so fear and failure are prerequisites sometimes for achieving great dreams. I just saw my neighbor, and I was talking about all the wind gusts that were going on as I was going to get my mail. I said, I almost turned around and went back home, but I persevered. And he looked at me and he said something really profound. He said, persevering is so important. And I thought, yes, it is. We want to persevere. We want to keep going. We don't want to give up. We may make mistakes. We may fail, but just because I've been divorced twice, I don't want to give up on having a happy, beautiful, loving, caring marriage where a man adores me and he protects me and he provides for me. He puts me next after God. He's got it all in order. He doesn't put himself and all of his selfish stuff first. No, he puts me and what I would love and what makes me happy first. Yes. And you can keep going towards your dream too, even after you fall down. It's okay. So we're befriending our fear. Parts of you want to go forward, and parts of you kind of are just planted, and some people call it playing small. You just don't want to go outside of your comfort zone. And in the middle, what have we got? We've got fear. And we're going to put a strike through fear. Now, we don't want to completely ignore our fear. And I talked about this earlier, that we can have a conversation with our fear. Mary Morrissey, my coach, has a brilliant idea that works so well. What you can do is talk to your fear and say, fear, I see you. I notice you're there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an appointment with you in 3 days. And so you put an appointment on your calendar, you write it in, and In the meantime, your fear is probably going to pop up and you just say to it, you know what? I have an appointment with you. Remember, we're meeting and we're meeting. It's in my schedule. I'm going to talk to you then. So it calms the fear down. You reassure it that you're going to deal with it. But for now, you're going to befriend it, move forward, and keep taking the action steps. And then be sure to follow through. It's a promise to yourself. Yep, I'm going to check in with fear. And maybe by the time you get to that third day, you look at your appointment and you think, what is that about? Maybe the fear is completely dissolved, or maybe it's still there. And so you have a conversation and you deal with it, because you're going to be in a different spot with your fear in 3 days because your life is changing. Now, fear has two companions. They're doubt and worry. You can do the same thing with them. These thoughts that come from fear, doubt, and worry can consume your mind. But remember, we're going to create new mindsets. We're not going to stay in all of these old, derogatory, disabling mindsets. And we're going to turn our attention towards our dream. And we're going to take action, because that gets us moving along the path towards our dream. Now, I'm going to invite you to think of an action step that you can take to get you closer to your dream. So take about 20 or 25 seconds and write down an action step. Ready, go. Okay, next, pick a date and a time and write that in your calendar. Put it in your calendar now, because you're promising yourself, I'm going to take this action step and I'm going to do it on this day at this time. So go ahead and do that. All right. Excellent. Now, if you did not think up an action step, if the answer didn't come to you, I encourage you to think up an action step before the end of the day and then put it in your calendar. All right. Good job. So we have talked about the 3 keys to mastering your results. We'll go into these in more detail if you choose to work with me. So designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your fear. You are worthy of your dream and a life that you absolutely love. Yes, you are. All right, now we're getting to the gift that I have for you. I offer free visioning sessions. Now, what we're going to do in that visioning session, and it'll be over Zoom, we're going to go over your mini vision that you just did. We're going to expand on it. I will help you reword it in certain ways so it's more powerful. There are all these little things that you may not be aware of that I can help you with, that will manifest your dream quicker and faster. And so in these Zoom sessions, which will last about 45 to 60 minutes, we're just going to get more clear. And I will also be talking about the Dream Builder program. Now, today is January 28th, and so today, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st, I am running this special, and I started it back mid-January. I'm offering 25% off on the Dream Builder program. This is huge savings. I do this once a year. It's my February special. And so this Dream Builder program will begin the first week of February. I am having 2 groups. So there's a morning group and an evening group. So whichever works out for you the best. But the first prerequisite is to schedule and attend this visioning session. So that is my gift to you. Now, brave thinking tool number 3. And here it is. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. This is a tool that prompts us to first think of what we can do. Next, think about what we have, what are our resources, and then take that action step. So do what you can with what you have from where you are. And there's always something that you can do. Yes, there is. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, great. Excellent. So thank you so much for being here. Yes, remember as you walk back into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you are facing. You have that power within you. And this is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action and know that I believe you can. If life is still breathing you, life is not done with you yet because something magnificent is happening with you. There's something more out there for you. All right. I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much for being here. I will leave my email below where you can get in touch with me to take that next step. All right. Thank you. Thank you.